do this one more time and see if we are live this time. All right. Sometimes a charm. Usually it takes 3 or more. But it looks like it's working this time. Okay, what's happening, guys? I tried this 2 or 3 other times, but basically doing a live stream because I don't have time to record a regular video and then do the upload with the memory cards and all that jazz. So doing a live stream, but not really supposed to be a live chatting live stream. Gonna go over about 25 questions here. I've been out of town for a couple of weeks, getting back into the swing of things. Tons of emails. Can't really get through them all. So I'm going to do my best to paraphrase a lot of the questions here and do it that way. We'll see how this works. So let me get the list up here. Hope everyone is doing well, by the way. Happy New Year. A lot of these are paraphrased. So near infrared, far infrared, or full spectrum better? I mean, you guys, I always focus on far infrared. It's what's really going to move the needle when it comes to detox, sweating, things like that. The near infrared saunas, even though I promote the DIY near infrared sauna tent for people that don't have money and things like that, there's really no such thing as a near infrared sauna. It's not the near infrared from the heat lamp bulbs that are heating you up. It is the portion of the wavelength that's in the mid and the far portion of the spectrum. Hey, Chet, how are you? How you guys doing? Been a little bit. Full spectrum would be great, but I think the near infrared delivery on a lot of the full spectrum saunas is more hype than actual therapeutic level of, I feel like a broken record saying this. I have so many videos, and I think what happens is somebody comes in, they start researching saunas, they're trying to get into this and learn about it. And, most of the old stuff falls by the wayside. So hopefully just putting together a general Q&A video that addresses a lot of this stuff will help. I'm sorry if I wasn't able to answer like a long email, but this is the best that I can do at the moment. Next question: Should I still shower right after infrared sauna use if it's a portable one? Absolutely. Whether or not it's a regular far infrared wooden stand-up sauna or a portable sauna, it doesn't really make a difference. If you're all sweaty, you obviously don't want to go to sleep like that. If you're sauning in the evening, or if you're getting your day started, you sauna in the morning, you definitely don't want to not shower. So always shower if you can. Do a little bit of cold shower, get some contrast therapy in there. It'll do you wonders. What is the healthiest sauna to buy? Man, that's a loaded question. It's hard to answer because I don't really know what you're looking for. Hello, Bonnie. How are you? Can you recommend the single person sauna? I have limited space. Yeah, Bonnie, any of the portable saunas, a one-person stand-up wooden sauna is usually 36 by 36. So it's really the same footprint as a portable sauna. Don't know what you're looking for. If you put some more details in the chat, I can help you. I don't know if I can spin this camera around, but there's a lot of saunas in this room. This is new office. Hi, how are you? Just put some more details in the chat. I'm going to keep going on the questions, Bonnie, because it takes a minute for them to pop up, and then I'll come back to you. The healthiest sauna to buy, in my opinion, is one that's low VOC, non-toxic, low EMF, something that has great penetration as far as the far infrared exposure. Without more details, it's kind of hard to say. Any of the portable saunas are going to treat you well. They're not going to be as low VOC or low EMF as the wooden saunas. Any of the saunas on the certified sauna list are going to be great. Those are the ones that I vet and personally use for myself. Bonnie says, looking for as inexpensive as possible, but not one that will make me glow in the dark from EMF. Well, that's what everybody wants, right? Usually it's like building a house. Do you want the good contractor with the decent foundation, or do you want it to crack in 5 years instead of spending the money, up front? It's not zero EMF, but if you really have no money, you can go to saunacourses.com and build the DIY sauna for like $300. I have a course on it. Bonnie says, I want a wooden one, not a portable. Okay. Well, then that's out. I would probably recommend any of the one-person saunas for you, Bonnie, on the certified sauna list. So that's going to be probably the cheapest is going to be your Radiant Health, because the Clearlight pricing just went through the roof. I was just made aware of that maybe a few weeks ago. So there's not going to be any comparison as far as price anymore. They used to be pretty close, Clearlight Premier and Radiant Health Elite. But that's probably what I would recommend. I think I'd have to look it up for you, but I think 35 inches by 35 inches. So it's a rectangle, and that'll treat you really well. It's very similar to what I have behind me, just a lot smaller. Let's see. Does infrared sauna help repair hair growth? I don't know. Usually I get these questions and it's like I've heard them 1,000 times. That's a really, I don't know, actually. Does infrared saunas help repair hair growth? I'm not sure I know what helps repair hair growth to start with, but I'm sorry, I have no idea. What does an infrared sauna do? Are you guys trolling me here? These are not in the live chat. These are the list from today, and I'm bouncing back and forth from the live chat because there's a few folks in there. Bonnie says, "Build one. Can you come help me? I'm mechanically challenged." No, Bonnie, I was talking about the DIY sauna course that I created for folks that can't afford any saunas. So we try to put together like a little tent, put some heat lamps in there. I put together a little $10 or $15 course that helps them do that. They say far infrared sauna does penetrate the skin and promote collagen production, so maybe good for hair growth. I'm not sure, Bonnie. I would be speaking out of turn if I commented on anything as far as hair repair or growth or anything like that. And most of the stuff that I focus on are the elements of my life that I have personally struggled with or had issues with, and hair regrowing my hair is not one of them. So I wouldn't want to speak out of turn or try to give somebody suggestions or advice on something that I have zero experience with. So Blake says, what are the 2 best portable saunas you can recommend that are low EMF and heat well? Man, Blake, that's hard. None of the portable saunas are perfect. Out of the portable sauna testing that I've done, the relaxed sauna is the hottest. So if you're looking for that, like a lot of the ladies from the 30 for 30 live streams were saying that their feet were cold or there was concern about the legs or the lower body. The relax is definitely the hottest if that's important to you. The Therasage was pretty good. I'm not 100% on those red lights if they're worth it in the front because they have like different models. And then the where's the other one? I have another one in here too. It's the Synergy. That one's pretty good as well. Is there a season 2 coming? Chet says for 30 for 30. I don't know. Should there be? I have a business conference next weekend and partially the following week. So it wouldn't be a good time to start it now, Chet, but definitely something to consider for later in February or March. I would do it again. I need to get back on the saddle for my own sauna sessions. Absolutely. Okay. I'll see what I can do about that. I'm going to bounce around between the live chat and the questions that I'm covering because we're going to send this out as an email response to everybody that I couldn't get to. But if you have questions, throw them in the chat. I'll try to get to it and switch back and forth if I can. The lady says, what does an infrared sauna do? I don't know if I should just skip this or if this is you being funny. Infrared saunas are basically giving you a sauna experience without introducing moisture or superheated air into the space. So the way I look at an infrared sauna is it allows me to have a sauna experience, detox, sweat, do all that stuff. It basically originates from the Finnish. Some people say that an infrared sauna is not really a sauna at all. But at the same time, if you live in Florida like I do, in homes that are prone to mold anyway, it's very, very easy to get an infrared sauna, plug it into an outlet, not have to do a bunch of stuff, worry about ventilation, mold, moisture, things like that, and improve your health. So in my opinion, that's what it does, or that would be the intention of it anyway. It says, why are infrared saunas bad for you? Man, this is a slew of... I should have reordered these or something. Why are infrared saunas bad for you? I don't think most infrared saunas are bad for you, Katie. I think infrared saunas that are toxically, am I making up words today? Infrared saunas that are built in a more toxic way that have sawdust, glues, formaldehydes. There's some companies that glue felt on the back of the heaters and they use a really potent adhesive in there. I think breathing that stuff in would make an infrared sauna bad for you. But other than that, infrared saunas are one of the healthiest things that you can do for yourself. Next question, how do I protect my hair in an infrared sauna? Great question. I'm guessing you're a female. It's anonymous. The easiest thing for you to do is take your hair and fold it up into a bun and then put the sauna hat on. That should stop from drying the hair and damaging it if you're doing a lot of sauna sessions. You can get those anywhere. You can get them on Amazon. Some of the sauna companies that sell saunas, they send you one for free with it, et cetera, et cetera. Next question, how often should you do an infrared sauna? For most people, if you don't have heat tolerance or you don't have heat experience, it's kind of like, you wouldn't start out running marathons, right? So generally 15 or 20 minutes, maybe a half hour if you really enjoy it, every other day when you first get a sauna, and then build up to 3 to 5 times a week, maybe 6 if that's in the neighborhood. The reason that most of the time my recommendations for initial sauna use are low is because a lot of people are health challenged. So you can detox quickly from a sauna over a period of months, but you also have to remember that you're going to put your adrenal glands through hell if you're overtaxing yourself. So just want to be mindful of that. Next question: how long does it take to see results from an infrared sauna? That's kind of a loaded question too. What kind of results, would you be looking for? What are you talking about? Losing weight? Are you talking about detoxing something like pesticides, heavy metals, yada yada? I mean, these are common things that people get into saunas for, myself included. I wouldn't be doing this today. I wouldn't have gone down this rabbit hole at all if that wasn't a health setback for myself personally. Let's see. How long do you have to sit in a sauna to detox your body? Again, I'm not sure who is educating you guys on these questions, but this is when I read these, I feel like there's a something lacking in whoever was doing the educating that a sauna is going to detoxify you. So how long do you have to sit in a sauna to detox your body really depends on you. It's going to be different for everybody. If you're just talking about, you know what, maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm really sorry. Maybe you just meant how long per day. If that's what you meant, generally 10 to 15 minutes is enough, as much as an hour. It really just depends on your heat tolerance, what you can handle. Chet says, how is Chris? Any recent contacts with the law? I was texting Chris last night, Chet. We were trying to do dinner with him, but we couldn't make it work. But hope to get together with him this week and catch up. I think he's doing well. Not 100% sure. He's been busy. I've been out of town. But I'm guessing we'll try to get him back for the 30 for 30 second round there. Bonnie says, my sauna time is great for meditation, totally relaxing. I'm addicted to it. I spend 45 minutes nearly every day, but I built up over months. 100%. And Bonnie has the exact right idea. You want it to be a relaxing experience. You want to, how do you say that? You want it to be something that I would consider a grounding ritual, meaning like this is your, not safe space, but this is your like, alone time, or this is your meditative time, or this is your wind down time type of deal. She has the right idea. 45 minutes is great. She loves it. But the key part that she said is I built up to that over months. So hi, CC, how are you? Bonnie, yeah, that's what I should have said. Bonnie can phrase it better than I. That's why I like live streams, because you guys can help. Bonnie says it's her me time, and that's 100% how it should be. So other people use it as family time, believe it or not. They get their kids in there, which is really cool. Get them used to that at a young age. And yeah, I think that's a really good habit and thing to expose young people to. Let's see, what temperature should I set my infrared sauna to? Man, these questions are loaded. It really just depends on you. Some days maybe I want it 150, other days maybe I want it 129. For me, I can just tell you what works for me. My optimal temperature for infrared sauna sessions, if I'm doing it regularly and I'm not trying to tax myself that day, but I want it to be just hot enough to get a deep penetrating sweat, is 133 degrees Fahrenheit. So generally anywhere from like 131 to 135 is enough for me to get a, Chet's reminding me of this, just seeing his screen name, but a river sweat. We had some jokes going from our 30 for 30 sauna challenge about that kind of stuff. CC says, I got the Therasage 360 Plus and I've been using it every day. It works well. I had an ocean sweat when I kept the temp at 150. That's excellent, CC. I'm glad that you were able to get that. I know it was troubling for you to try to find the space and work out all that. So I'm really happy for you. Good thing that you haven't waited any longer and that you have a good solution in your house. Bonnie says, I get in there to escape from the kids. Understandable. Anyway, what temperature should I set my sauna to? Like I said, for me, it's 133 to 135. Now, if I'm doing a detox protocol or something like that, I'll do in the 140s, maybe 145, 148. But I'm also timing myself on my everyday sessions where I'm not filming videos. I'm just having me time, like Bonnie says, or I'm doing this and that. I turn the sauna on, I go make my water and stuff. I do whatever else, I'm doing that day. And I just get in there and I kind of, I'm not under any time constraints. I'm not timing myself. I'm not trying to achieve anything particular. I'm not timing niacin or binders or detox supplements or anything like that. So it's hard to say as far as the perfect temperature for everybody in the duration, but hopefully these examples have given you some, an overview or some thought of what would work best for you. Next question. Why am I not sweating in an infrared sauna? Well, that could be for a lot of reasons. Do you sweat under normal activities? Do you have an issue sweating? I find that a lot of people have to build up to sweating well in an infrared sauna. So the first time they might not sweat at all. Maybe they just get red and puffy. Maybe they sweat a little bit. Maybe they just have a little surface sweat on the skin. And if you keep doing it over the period of the next 2 weeks, generally it will improve. Randy, the owner of Radiant Health Saunas, I should know that off the top of my head. I'm getting rusty. The sauna that's behind me. He gave us a hack, and it's basically, if you have an older person or someone who is sweat challenged or has health problems that prohibit them from sweating, one of the things that you can do is sit them down in a chair, put a one of those foot buckets of hot water, put their feet in it for 5 minutes, and it stimulates the nervous system, and it says, hey, we're prepared to sweat, and then put them in the sauna. And that seems to make a big difference for about 75% or more of the people. Let's see. Chet says, awesome to hear CC pull the trigger on a sauna. I agree. CC says 30 for 30. Various testing helped make up my mind. That's excellent. Blake says Synergy portable sauna is just as good as Therasage or Relax. Well, it's different, Blake. I haven't published the individual reviews that compare them. The Relax is a little hotter. The Synergy and the Therasage feel almost the same. Any three of them are going to give you a great sweat. They're just, the heat delivery is a little bit different, especially in the Relax. I would say the Synergy and the Therasage, the heat delivery is very similar, but tell me what you're looking for. Like, it's hard for me to just sit here and talk about them and compare the differences when I don't know, like, what is your hierarchy of criteria, right? So is it price? Is it how hot is it? So for some people, it's how portable is it? Because one of them fits in a gigantic case. Yeah, it has handles and a case, and you can carry it around and blah, 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 but it's still a pain in the neck. Whereas the other one folds up like a windshield sun visor. CC says, thanks, Chad. Glad I got one. Good for you, CC. Happy for you. Let's see. So back to the questions. Why am I not sweating in infrared sauna? Is infrared sauna good for skin? Well, wow. All right. I'm going to have to vet these a little bit better next time. Yes, it's good for skin. It cleans the pores. It also allows things. When you're in an infrared sauna, a lot of people think that detox happens only through the skin, but there's also, it stimulates an exchange of lymphatic fluid. And not everything comes out through the skin, but some things will. The rest of it is sent to the organs for processing. But overall, words together today. If you have a private room to yourself and you can lock the door and stuff, you can either go naked, you can wear a not so covered up bathing suit if that makes you more comfortable. You can wear underwear, whatever you want. If you're saunaing in the courtesy of your own house, I would suggest not wearing clothes, period. That way, more of your skin is exposed to as much heat as possible. You'll get better results in a shorter amount of time. Next question. Where should I put an infrared sauna in my house? Man, these questions, I feel like are these meant to trip me up a little bit? Depends on where you live. If you live in the South, like where I'm at now, pretty much anywhere. You can put it in the garage. You can put it in a spare bedroom. You can put it in your master bedroom. You can stick it in the bathroom. You can put it in your living room. You can put it anywhere you want. If you are in Maine, like I was last week, and the day that I left, it was negative 14 degrees. You got to be really careful where you put it. You don't want to put it in an unheated basement. If you live in a place like that, you wouldn't want to put it in a garage because it's probably going to be 40 or 50 degrees, even if you're just using supplemental heat to maintain temperature when you get in and out of the cars, or melty snow and ice off the windshield, or however people use their garages. In the North, most of the time, people have the best success with, if there's a little nook or a place where they can put it in their master bedroom, that works great. If they have a spare bedroom, that works awesome. Sometimes if you do put it in your master bedroom, it can heat up the space after you get done with your sauna session if you leave the door open and allow the heat to come pouring out and all that kind of stuff. Generally, this is not a big deal if you live, let's say North Carolina and north. If you're in North Carolina and south, sometimes, people are running AC to try to cool the room and prep it for sleep as it is. So let's say you sauna it in the evening and you leave the door open and you're letting 140 degree heat out into the room. Some people don't like that. Other people like it. So just something to be aware of. Truth Provider, how are you? Good to see you. Need to check in with you. See if you got your back rests, I believe. Forgot about that, but just seeing your name pop up reminded me, if I'm remembering correctly. David says, any good requests for low EMF sauna under $2,000? What kind, David? Sure. I mean, are you talking about portable? You want to build one yourself? You want a wooden one? You want a cheap one from Amazon? You want Costco? You got to be specific. And I'm giving you a hard time to be funny. These questions that I'm answering are not specific at all. So we're going to do something about this. Are infrared saunas as good as traditional? Well, the first question would be, for what? Why wouldn't an infrared sauna be as good as traditional? The mechanism of heat delivery is completely different. So a traditional sauna is going to heat up the air to 200 degrees, and that in turn is going to heat your body. You're also breathing the superheated air. An infrared sauna is going to heat up the water molecules under your skin. Doesn't have superheated air in the cabin, but you get an intense sweat experience at a much lower temperature. I prefer infrared, but I've also used traditional plenty. I've lived in a high rise, used traditional sauna all the time. Also use steam saunas, use dry electric. I still prefer infrared. Some people just like that. What is it? That the shock of breathing in hot air to where it's almost hard to swallow. They think that has merit or benefit, and maybe it does for them. Who am I to say that it does or doesn't, right? But if that's something that you want, you might not like infrared. Conversely, the other set of people are like, oh my God, I can't breathe when I go in a traditional sauna. It's too steamy. It's too hot. You can still get a great detox. You can get a good sauna session in infrared. Those people love infrared. So hopefully me going over those two things would give you a little bit of perspective. If you have further questions, let me know in the YouTube comments. This will be up for replay, and I'd be happy to go into more detail because I think it is a good question. Let's see. CC says, or Blake says, low EMF and price. I don't know what you mean, Blake. You want a portable sauna? Is that what you're talking about? CC says, I kept my window open during the portable sauna session just to prevent overheated in my tiny apartment. Well, the portable sauna shouldn't be too bad, CC, although you could probably feel it a little bit. Truth Provider, haven't gotten the backrests yet. I'll certainly let you know when I receive them. Thanks. I'm doing well. Finished my 30 for 20. It went well. Excellent. 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 That's awesome. Glad you're liking the sauna and getting some sessions out of it. Yeah, keep me posted on the backrests. I think they were either back ordered or behind or something like that, but I want to make sure that you get them because you really helped me out when I was having some troubles during those live streams. So, and I want to touch base with you too about your email. Soupy Sales, do you still recommend the Radiant Health Sauna? Do you have a discount code, or we just mention your name? Yes, Soupy, I do. It's the same sauna that's behind me. It's the same sauna that I have in Maine, same sauna that I use in my own home, pretty much wherever I am. They're awesome. They're really just they're about to become even more awesome because the price increases that some of the sauna companies are doing right now are absolutely atrocious. And there's no improvements to the sauna. This is what's driving me nuts. Usually I don't mind if somebody increases a price if there's some type of redevelopment or a feature added or something, right? But yes, I 100% still recommend the Radiant Health. If a friend or family member was buying one today, that's what I would tell them to get. It's also what I use in my own home. David said, discount code, you can just use MattJustice500, or you can go to CertifiedSaunas.com, copy the code there, or you can go to my blog, Clever Leverage, and it'll be right there. But they're not usually sticklers about upper, lower case or case sensitive or whatever, from what I've been told. David says, all portable ones I still find produce a lot of EMF. So which portable sauna do you recommend? Well, yeah. I mean, most of the portable saunas are going to have some level of VOC, some level of EMF. None of them are perfect, but the exposure limit that you're going to have in them is pretty low. I like the Relax sauna. I like the Therasage, and I like the Synergy. Those seem to perform great. We used those back to back for the 30 for 30 a couple months ago, and they worked really well. They're not perfect. They're not the lowest EMF, but they're also not $5,000. So it's kind of hard to have, the perfect thing. If you're looking for something cheap just to get into saunas, David, you could go to saunacourses.com and look at the free videos that I have on the DIY. See if that's a good fit for you. That's not perfect either. CC says, quick question. Do you take a binder before or after infrared sauna session? Usually before for me, but you can do it after, either one, or you could do both. Experiment with that and see how it works for you. Sia says, any opinion on the Finnleo or Hilo hybrid infrasaunas? The last time I checked on the hybrid saunas, and that's something that I'm still really interested in. I think I'm butchering your name. I'm really sorry, but it's either Sia or Saya. Terani. I'm sorry if the pronunciation is wrong, but the thing that stopped me from that, because the ideal scenario, right, would be able to have infrared on the sides or the back when you sit on the bench, and then also have a steam sauna that you could toggle on and off and adjust the temperature so that you could just get like I'm a person that used to have sinus issues. So it'd be kind of cool to introduce a little bit of hot steam, but not a lot. Like I don't want that to be the primary method of heat delivery for my sauna experience, but it would be cool if I could add some moisture to the environment and boost the heat on the days that I wanted to do that. The problem that I found is that every single hybrid sauna company, manufacturer, when I looked at the website, they seemed great, right? The issue is all of them that I found, you can only use infrared or you can only use the traditional dry electric or the steam independently of each other. So you have to decide that day, do I want to use this or do I want to use that? Maybe they've changed it. If they have, would you let me know which one it is? Because I looked and looked and looked and I couldn't find any. A lot of it has to do with the power consumption. Those are usually 220 and there's just not enough power, not enough circuitry on tap in those power supplies in order to run the infrared and the other dry electric heater at the same time. So that's part of the issue. Some of it's a design problem and things like that. But I have never bought one because I wasn't able to find anything that would work as a true hybrid. So I kind of got irritated. I don't know why they call it a hybrid. It's really like an A and a B. You can choose today you want to do infrared, tomorrow you can do traditional. Well, that's great, but I mean, I could just decide which one's better for me and get that to start with. I wanted to use both. So I don't think that commentary is helpful, but that's just a little background on why I don't have or hybrid saunas or recommendations or testing or anything like that. Let's see. Truth Fighter says, I get a great sweat with my Radiant Health Sauna E2H. I sweat better than a traditional Finnish style. I used to do a lot of 180-degree Finnish rock saunas, but I now prefer the infrared sauna approach. Same here. Truth Provider is mirrored my experience 100%. I mean, I used to live in a building where all you had to do was program the thing and then walk downstairs and you'd have a steam sauna. And it was great. I mean, it was fine. But once I went infrared, I've never gone back to that. And I don't think I ever would. Soupy says, thank you, Matt. Been searching for years. Myself and Dad are going to buy from Radiant. You won't be disappointed. I guarantee you're going to like it. Pretty much, I've never had anybody say, oh my God, this sauna sucks. Or this didn't live up to my expectations. They're great. The price is great. The quality is good. The people are excellent. They don't hound you. They're easy to work with. They do what they say they're going to do, and they deliver on time. They're very quick, usually, with that compared to other companies. Good warranty. Never any problems with them, though. Truth Fighter says, I believe you can get heat shock proteins from far infrared saunas. I'm more than hot enough for my Radiant sauna. It works great. You absolutely can, Truth Provider. We're looking into why certain people out there are saying that you need a steam sauna to create heat shock proteins or to get that effect. And when you dig into the research, it doesn't really make any sense. You don't need 200 degrees for the body to create heat shock proteins. Just like you don't need to be in 200 degrees to introduce a fever. So something's going on there. We're going to get to the bottom of it eventually, but it's going to take a little time. Chet says, what is one feature item you would like to see added to the Radiant Health? What? See added to the Radiant Health, add to their saunas. You're messing with me, Chet. That's a good question. I've never thought about that. What is one feature that I wish Radiant Health would add to their saunas? I don't know. I'm really... You got me. You stumped me. That hasn't happened in a while. Usually I'm not easily stumped. Let me think about it. I don't know. There's something. There's got to be something. There's got to be something. It might be something audio wise. What was I trying to do? It was for a video project, but I think I was trying to record and play music in the overhead speakers. And for some reason, I needed to have access to my. I can't remember what I was trying to do, but there's something electronic that I wish they would add or change. But I've never thought about it since, and I don't know if it's unique to me because I'm, do videos and all this kind of stuff, or if I would actually. I'd have to think about that. Would I actually use that if I was a normal person, not trying to take a $1,600 camera inside a 148-degree hot box? So I use my phone and stuff sometimes to do the controller, but I don't know. That's a good question. That's probably question of the day there. Sia says you got it right. Blake says portable. David says, what about for people who live in an apartment, need to move eventually? Price not a big concern. David, I'm not tracking our prior conversation because I've said so many other things. Let me scroll up a little bit. Portables. If we're talking about portables, that would probably be the best. If you're going to move soon, that would probably be the easiest thing, is to do a portable or do the DIY. The DIY will get you a sweat for under $350, and you can take it down and put it, in the trunk of your car if you wanted to. If you want to spend a little bit more money, any of the portable saunas that I recommend or have reviews on would be good. If you're looking to spend a lot more money, one of the 1 or 2 person saunas that work on a 15 amp outlet, so you don't have to hire an electrician to change anything. You would want to do that in an apartment. You just want to plug into a regular outlet. That'd probably be the best idea. But you're going to spend a little bit more time and energy taking it apart and moving it to the next place. So it all depends on what's important to you. How do you value that? For me personally, if I was going to be in a place for 6 months or more, it's worth it to set up a wooden infrared sauna like it is behind me. If it's going to be less than that, or there's a few months left on my lease and I know I'm going to be leaving, not sure where I'm going to be going, don't know if I'll have space for it in the next place, that's a totally different story. I've been in that situation before, and I would go with a portable, I'd go with a DIY, or something like that, most likely, unless I misunderstood you. If so, just correct me in the chat. And can infrared harm you later on? Satin doll. No, not in my opinion. CC says, I think is a comfortable chair. I don't know what you mean, CC. I think is a comfortable chair. I don't know what you mean. Nick says, yo, Matt, thanks for all the sauna content you're putting out. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it. Getting back into the swing of things here. Been out of town for a couple of weeks. Sia says, thanks for the perspective. My mom keeps going back to the Healthmate sauna, but I'm skeptical. There's so many BS sauna competitors now. Healthmate saunas have got those same ceramic heaters in them that they've had in them for a while. They get really hot if you like that. Electric fields aren't mitigated if that's important to you, but otherwise than that, it'll make you sweat. Leah says, thanks so much, Matt, for everything you do researching saunas. For those of us who need them, you've been a wonderful resource. Thank you, Leah. I appreciate that. All right. If I skip something, just let me know in the chat. I'm going to try to get through the rest of these questions. There are a lot of them over the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Where was I? Do infrared saunas really detoxify your body? I think we covered that. Why do I feel worse after infrared sauna? I actually have a dedicated video for this. Most of the time, it's because you're triggering a detox reaction faster than your body has the available resources on hand to process whatever it's trying to eliminate, and you're not taking binders. So if you have leaky gut, you're introducing recirculation of toxins. Most likely, your blood-brain barrier is. Man, my brain is too fast for my lips. What do we do about this? Can somebody give me a beer? Most of the time, you're just introducing a cycle of recirculating toxins. You want to try some binders. You'd also want to Google that phrase and look at my blog article or video that talks about that specifically. I would try some enterosgel. I would try some activated charcoal. I would try some bentonite clay. And there's that one zeolite too that I like. But mostly it's the other 3 that I use a lot. CC says, I was referring to chat's question about one feature to add in Radiant Health, a comfortable seat. I wouldn't say that it's uncomfortable. I sit on towels. It's not too bad. But yeah, it could have a contoured bench. I don't know if that would really make me buy it over another, but it's a good suggestion. David says, thanks a lot. Just found out your channel. Definitely checking out a lot of your stuff. Cool, David. Yeah, if I misunderstood your question, just rephrase it. And if I sound short or something like that, I'm not. I'm just trying to make sure that I get through these questions. I'm trying to, say hi to everybody. I appreciate people chiming in. Not a scheduled live stream either, so don't really expect. I'd really recommend the carbon panels over the ceramic. Better heat coverage. Truth Provider says, I can't stress enough the importance to use binders if you're using the sauna to detox from toxic chemicals and metals. Yeah, I mean, there's specific videos and content on this because this is what I went through after getting my amalgam fillings removed. And so I basically crashed and burned for 6 months and was seeing a functional medicine doctor, and we were doing all this stuff to naturally correct it. But the one thing that we were not doing was assisting the natural elimination processes, understanding that in today's modern environment, most likely BBB is compromised, the blood-brain barrier, and also most of us have leaky gut. Some scientists, doctors, natural healthcare practitioners, all this stuff claim or say that even if you have a perfect diet and you live in a good environment, just RF exposure, cell towers, and all this other stuff can increase gut wall permeability, increase, even Dr. Klinghardt talks about this quite a bit. He says that it's the perfect storm. You've got nano aluminum particles from the air that we breathe in. That gets in the body. We've got the fluoridated water, and then we've got the pesticides from the crops, glyphosate. And then we've got the pulsing from the Wi-Fi when we sleep. And he says, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to speak out of turn here for him. Great respect for the man. Don't know if this is 100% accurate or not. He says when we sleep, that's the perfect storm to make this very, very permeable and allow toxins to float through. And they have a really hard time escaping. One of the things that I noticed that's a similarity between some of these guys, like Dr. Jack Kruse, who says the sun is everything, and your light, your circadian rhythm and your light cycle or your light diet is more important than the food that you eat. And Dr. Klinghardt, who has had a practice in the States, in Washington and in Germany for several years, and has worked with hundreds of, maybe even thousands of people by this point, both of them say that melatonin is critical for getting these things out of the brain. One says that you're trying to boost Dr. Kruse says you're trying to boost the body's natural ability to create melatonin at the right time. And in turn, this natural cycle will do that. The other, Dr. Klinghardt, is saying take liposomal supplemental melatonin and force it to happen to try and detox the brain. So don't know. I'm getting off track here. I got to stick with the program here. Patty says, we ordered our 2-person Radiant Sauna a couple weeks ago based solely on watching your videos. Quite a back order, but we will wait patiently. Thanks for your help. Patty, it's well worth the wait. And I got to tell you, ever since COVID, some people aren't getting their saunas for 5 months. So Radiant Health is probably still one of the fastest as far as delivery, but you'll be happy. It's worth the wait. I guarantee it. If you need help, let me know. If you haven't seen the installation video, make sure and watch that. It's on YouTube. It has helped a lot of people. Just goes through the step-by-step process of what it's like to get the boxes and take them apart. And if you have any questions or you get stuck, just let me know. I'm happy to help you. Nick says, looking at portable sauna Durherm, seems like reviewers suggest it stops working after a few months. Do you think portable saunas are repairable with a bit of elbow grease? I don't know how to answer that, Nick. It depends on what stops working. Does the power supply fry? Does the heater go out? Does the control panel stop working? I don't know. I mean, a Durherm is $500-600. Why don't you spend $800 and get a Synergy, a Therasage, or the Relax Sauna? I think the price went up. Or do $300 and build a DIY if it's if that's what you need. I'm just not sure. I don't know. It depends on what's wrong with it. You could probably order some replacement parts and get it working if you know what you're doing. But I would hate to see the power supply fry and then say, hey, you need to know how to solder in order to get that thing working. Chet says, Patty, they're worth the wait. Quality is very good and you will not regret your purchase. 100% agree. Thank you, Chet. Ravi says, hi, Matt. Looking to buy a portable sauna. Notice your Radiant Health Sauna. Is there other technology besides NIF that is safe and works on a 15-amp home outlet and portable? Ravi, I think that's autocorrect from the phone. I think you're saying, I don't know if you're saying near infrared, like NIR. Yeah. Okay. Let me read that again. Is there other technology besides near infrared that is safe and works on 15-amp? I'm confused. Are you talking about like a body panel? All of those work with no, that's not what you mean. Noticed your Radiant Health Sauna. Is there any other technology besides near infrared that is safe and works on a 15-amp home outlet and portable? I don't know why, but I'm getting stumped. Can we rephrase the question a little bit? I think what you want is a portable sauna that works on a 15-amp outlet that has near infrared in it. The only one that I know of that's like that would be the Therasage with the red lights, but I don't think that the near infrared output is within the therapeutic range, meaning you can't take 52-watt LEDs, so you have 100 watts total of red light therapy output, and call that red light therapy. I don't have one within arm's reach, but the red light therapy body panels that are based on the red light therapy research from the lasers or from the LEDs, those are extremely high powered. So high powered that they have a heat sink in the back, power supply, fans, and all this stuff. And you're just not going to replicate the output of that with some small 2-watt LEDs. And I always say this when somebody brings up the portable sauna stuff, because I don't want to be responsible for misleading somebody on, hey, you should buy a full spectrum, portable sauna because you're going to get red light therapy. Well, it's got red lights in it, but how much near infrared therapy are you really getting? I don't know. Far infrared saunas are much better detox than near infrared. Totally agree. Let's see. Truth Fighter, yes. Echo Matt's comment. I bought a 2-person Radiant Health Sauna from Vancouver. It was worth the wait. Super happy with it. EMF sensitive. Have no problems at all using it. That's awesome. My experience as well. Truth Fighter says, Ravi, use infrared panels. Okay, cool. So I'm caught up on that. Whew. Let's see. Why do I feel worse after sauna? We did that. Next question. What should I look for when buying an infrared sauna? Well, this is kind of the same as above, though. Low EMF, low VOC, decent construction. You want something that's not built like cardboard. Some of those Amazon saunas that I had, I mean, you could literally lean on it like this, and it would, you know, put a dent in the wood, or you would hear it creak, or you would hear it crack. Or you can flip the panels upside down, and you can hear the cardboard and the sawdust using it. They use that as a brace when they glue them together. But the I would look for something that's halfway quality. Any of the saunas on the certified sauna list are going to be good. Those are the ones that I personally vet myself and have passed, you know, with flying colors. Biggest infrared sauna benefits. You know, I was looking one day at videos on YouTube that talk about infrared sauna benefits, and some of the sauna companies come up with the most glorious list of benefits. And sometimes I read that and I'm like, wow, you could be just like a normal person that is 50 years old and just has like a natural health decline with age. And you could be like, wow, that's me. And there's like all these personal identifiers that they use and things like that. So what would be something that's out of the box that they don't, that are my biggest benefits from using an infrared sauna? I would have to say mental clarity. Mental clarity is improved with regular sauna use. I would say better sleep. I notice a difference in my sleep if I combine evening sauna use and binders. Part of that could just be going along with the program. Meaning, if I know I'm going to be saunaing quite a bit, I'm upping my hydration. I take electrolytes if I need. Probably get more potassium during those times than I do just from diet. So I think all of these things are intertwined. But I would say mental clarity, brain works better, sharper, clearer, feel better, more energy, deeper sleep. Skin definitely improves, but it's not an overnight thing for me personally. Some people, it's like if they have acne issues, they're like, oh my God, you know, my acne is gone. But again, usually when people sauna regularly and they're doing all these things, there's other stuff that they're changing too. So I think some of it's attributed to that. Hey, no problem. Just like placebo, you know, if somebody has great results from placebo, who cares? Well, if somebody has great results from sauna, but they're also improving their diet, and they're also more hydrated, and they're also doing this and that, how much of it is the sauna? Usually quite a bit, but a lot of times it's the few other things that they're doing too, and that has a compounding effect. That would be my answer for today. Will portable infrared saunas work just as good as far infrared? Well, will they work for what? I love these questions where it's like, you just assume that I know what your situation is or what you're trying to do. Let's get back to some of the live chat questions really quick. Tamara says, hi, Matt. Have you tested the infrared saunas that have pin Himalayan salt wall blocks in them? I have not. I don't know what, well, it must be autocorrect on the pin part, but I have not. The sauna experience should be the same. I don't know what the Himalayan salt blocks would do for you, but I don't think those are going to change the actual sweating experience. David says, what's your opinion on the HigherDose infrared sauna blanket? Man, that's tough, David. I want to like that thing, but honestly, I hate it. But I think I hate it not because I don't like HigherDose, or not because it's a bad product. The quality of the stitching, the material, and everything that they use is very, very good. I'm so hesitant here because I question, like I use it myself and I question, am I really getting the same type of sweat that I am in the sauna behind me or in a portable or something like that? And I want to like it. I want it because I think it's a good solution for folks that don't have an area where they can set up a portable sauna and you just roll that thing out of your closet. But I've got to go with my gut here and say that I really question whether or not it can deliver the same type of sweat. I don't feel that it does. It's better than nothing, but I don't get the same sense when I'm done with a session in that. And the things that make me biased against it are, I hate sweating inside of a bag because you have to clean it up when you're done. And that to me is just awful. I really don't like the positioning of it where you have to try to keep your arms in it when you're using it. And this is just my personal perspective. It's nothing against the people or the product or anything like that. I think they've done a wonderful job with the manufacturing the product. The quality is better than any of the other blankets that I've seen. The magnetic fields on the EMF tested great. The electric fields were totally untouched. So it's not a low electric field sauna. It's a low magnetic field sauna. It's got high body voltage in it. But any sauna blanket is going to have that. There was VOC presence, but it wasn't like off the charts, just using the nose as a sniffer, not like putting it through the ringer. It's one of those products where you can't really say, you know, there's only so much they can do with it. It's a close proximity piece of equipment. So I'm really hesitant to recommend it to anybody because I feel like there's a little bit lacking on the penetration of the heat and on the depth of the sweat. That's my personal take. I know it was long-winded. Just kind of wanted to preface, hey, these are things that I don't like about any sauna blanket, but this one specifically, yeah, hope that makes sense. Ravi says, thanks, Matt. It makes sense. Thanks, Truth Provider. CC, can you recommend a chair for a portable sauna? There are many options on Amazon. Can't decide which one to purchase. The one that comes with a Therasage is not very comfortable. I agree. It's hard. It's wood. It's rigid. And it has like the wrong angle to it. It's very uncomfortable after you use it about 2 times, CC. Most people, I don't have it. I could make you a separate video for this. Most people like a curved I think it's called a transfer bench on Amazon because it takes the pressure off. Doesn't have hard edges. Doesn't have any of that stuff. A lot of people really like those, and it has adjustable metal legs. So if you're tall, if you're short, you can kind of tailor it to you. That's probably what I would recommend. Truth Fighter says, I benefit from better sleep, less inflammation, my muscles and joints, plus, of course, detoxing. That's going back to the benefits of infrared sauna. Michael says, do you have an opinion on the Finnleo combination unit that is both infrared and traditional sauna? Michael, I talked about this a little bit above. Most of the hybrid units don't work independently, or they do work independently of each other, but you can't run traditional and infrared at the same time. That kind of has stopped me from checking those out. I don't, unfortunately, have any opinions on that brand or that unit. I don't have any hybrids either. If they ever come out with one where you can run steam or dry electric and infrared at the same time, I'll buy one because I'd like to try it. Or maybe some company has it and I'm unaware. If that's the case and you guys see this on replay, please let me know in the comments. I would love to check it out. Pete says, if 2 people are going to use the sauna a lot together, do you recommend the larger size, the Radiant Health E4H? 100%, Pete. You're on the right track. The worst thing is bumping shoulders with somebody, and you're even if it's a significant other, you want to have extra space. It's more comfortable. The other thing about the E4H, if it's the one with the opposing benches, is that you can sit on one side. I know this sounds crazy. This is going to sound nuts, but if you've used a sauna a lot and there's somebody else in it, one of the most uncomfortable things is either trying to carry on a conversation or what have you, or just interacting with them, and your neck is like this the entire time. Sounds ridiculous, but the first time you go in a sauna that has opposing benches and you're in there with somebody else, and by opposing benches, what I mean is you open the door, one person sits on this side, the other person sits on this side. So you're opposing each other. You can put your feet up, they can put their feet up, and then you can converse like this. It's like we're talking now. And it's very, very nitpicky of me to say this, but that alone would make me buy a big sauna. Some people think I'm crazy for saying that. I've gotten a lot of flack. Sometimes people send me private emails. I can't believe you'd recommend a big sauna and have to spend, $2,000 more just so that you can face each other. And it's like, well, have you been in these before? I mean, are you speaking from experience or are you just looking at the dollar amount? Because if it's something that you and your spouse are going to use for the next 15 years, if you spend $3,500 instead of $4,800, and I'm making this up, I don't know if that's the price range for the models that you're looking at or not. If you divide that up over 10 years, we're not really talking about a lot of money. And 5 years from now, you're going to be like, damn it, I wish I would have listened to that son of a gun on that YouTube's. No, everyone likes different stuff, but I'm very biased towards comfort, especially if it's involving multiple people. Truth Fighter says, I'm convinced that a sauna blanket won't work anywhere near as well to detox you as a proper wooden sauna box. Yeah, I mean, I hate to go there, Truth Provider. I don't want to, you know, I hate to knock a product if it has good potential. It's made well. I think the people are doing good, but I have to agree. It's just not, it's not there. But CC says, I saw something like that. If you can make a video, that would be great. Otherwise, I'll send you an email. Sure. Either way, I can just send you an Amazon link if that's what you're looking for. I think they have them from like $15 to $30. I have one downstairs too. And I know I have one up here. I just can't leave this station right now and go get it to show it to you. But I think Amazon actually sent me one without legs too. I got to send it back. Otherwise, I'll just give it to you. Truth Fighter says, Pete, just make sure your electrical outlet can handle the need for more than 15 amps for a bigger sauna. I should have mentioned that, by the way. All the big saunas are going to be 20 amp or 220. Depends on which brand and model. You'd have to have an electrician wire up a dedicated outlet. But if you're going to use something for a spouse, you're in your forever home, it's totally worth it. Pete says, thank you. Not a fan of the sitting elbow to elbow. Seems worth the uptick. It definitely is, 100%. Giggles and Wiggles. Interesting screen name. Please do a video or give a link to a chair for the Therasage. I recently purchased the Therasage Plus, but I have fibro along with other back, neck, and shoulder issues, and the chair is not comfortable. I got it. Not great. Okay, I can do that. Let me write that, or I can't write it down. Let me make a note of that. Make a portable sauna chair video. I can do that. CC says, Matt, totally agree with the setting of the bench. Be able to extend my legs worth the money. 100%. 100%. Let's see. I think I'm caught up with you guys in the live chat. We did biggest infrared sauna benefits. Will portable saunas work just as good as far infrared? For the most part, yes, as long as you're not trying to do really complicated detoxes that are months long and things like that. Yeah, for the most part, they work pretty well. There's a little bit of an advantage to a wooden sauna, both in heat, comfort, and actual, I was going to say absorption of far infrared, but that's not the right word. The amount of far infrared saturation that you can get in a wooden sauna is a lot more just because of the surface area than a portable sauna. But if you don't have space, a portable sauna is definitely the way to go. If you do have space in the budget, you know, obviously I would always choose the larger one. Truth Fighter says, how's Chris doing? Has he come back to more sauna sessions with you, Matt? No, not yet. I was just texting him last night, Truth Provider, trying to do dinner with him. Hopefully we'll get together later this week. And Chet was talking about doing another round of 30 for 30 and having him come. So we'll see about that. Pete says, thanks, Truth Fighter. I plan to run a new circuit just for the sauna. Perfect. Let's see. Portable sauna work just as good. We did that. Next question. Third-party EMF reports really validate low EMF on some of these brands. Not in my opinion. Most of the time, the third-party EMF reports are taking measurements of the sauna not in use by a person. So you're not accounting for electric fields. You're not accounting for EMF from control panels, things like that. That's not really the native environment that you're going to use the sauna in. So why would you test it like that? It's kind of, you know, shooting yourself in the foot there. Soupy Sales, do you sauna daily? Any other words of advice you could share with us? Sometimes I do, Soupy, but no, usually I do every other day for myself. But like I went to Maine recently and was doing a little snowmobiling and stuff. I didn't sauna at all. But it goes in waves for me. Any other words of advice you could share with us? Well, on what? Soupy, it sounds like these questions that I'm reading on the list here, a little generic. I'm going to start putting up a thing on the contact form. Could you be a little bit more vague? I'll look for you to expound on that in the live chat. I'm going to keep going on some of these. In terms of sauna, well, a little more vague. Any other words of advice that you could share with us in terms of sauna? Just tell me what you're trying to do. I don't have any context of you or what you want. Tell me exactly what you're looking for, and I'll be happy to share. Be as specific as you can. Are Costco saunas more trustworthy in 2021? No. In fact, I have to commend these folks. I've got to do it. I have a specific video that I didn't release. The Dynamic Sauna Company is sending out emails to customers that ask about EMF with a tape measure and actual EMF measurements, which is great. They don't pass the test, but at least they're being forthcoming about it. So are Costco saunas more trustworthy in 2021? No. They're the same. They're pretty much unchanged. Although there is some new ultra low EMF model that folks have asked me to test. I ordered one, and then I guess I didn't take the call for the shipping confirmation while I was out of town, so the order got canceled. I'll see what I can do to reorder that, but it's going to be a little bit. What's the best sauna this year for 2021? Well, I mean, I'm still partial to the Radiant Health. Now I'm really partial to the Radiant Health because its little brother, little sister, whatever you want to call it, the Clearlight Premier, has now gone up almost 30% in price. So it's just a really good deal. It's almost the same sauna. And, you know, since the price increase, Radiant Health is definitely taking the cake in 2021, in my opinion. Let's see. Ravi says, hi, Matt. You missed my question. Have you heard of Saunaspace? Yes, I have, Ravi. I have one in the other room. I also have been working on a DIY version for people to make cheaply for months and months. There's a bunch of YouTube videos. If you go to my channel and just search for near infrared, you should probably find some of those. If you have a question about it specifically, I'm happy to answer it for you, though. I've used it a lot. Giggles and Wiggles. Thanks. I got here late and we'll rewatch. Definitely going to have to try a different chair. Yeah, if you have something specific, just throw it in the chat and I'll get to it. Giggles and Wiggles. Truth Provider. One thing I would change in the sauna is to use solid wood planks in the bench seat, then the tongue and groove veneer so that the wood handles moisture better. Truth Provider. Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of the sauna companies, it's one of those things where do we make it, it's a delicate balance. How do we make it have a solid wood feel and not make it $3,000 to ship a 1,200 pound pallet across the country? Because then that raises the price of the whole thing. I totally agree. Your comment is making me worry a little bit. Are you putting towels down before you start your sauna sessions? Because there really shouldn't be much wood on the moisture. If you're, I would not advise that at all. I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of people's infrared saunas where they just sit on the wood and they don't use towels every time. But after about a year of use, it is nasty because the stuff that's coming out of you seeps into the pores. And if you are using a towel and it's still getting through, double them up. Double them up. Okay, you're using tons of towels. Okay, all right, fair enough. Fair enough. You had me a little worried there. Shouldn't be, like when I get done with a session, there's a little bit of moisture that seeps through my towels, but my towels are doubled up. So I fold them in half and then sit on that. There's a little bit that gets through, but not a ton. And I would highly recommend anyone do the same thing, no matter what kind of sauna it is. Doesn't matter the brand, doesn't matter the wood type, all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Tamara says, sauna oxygen ionizers, are they worth the money in your opinion? No, not unless it's a professional grade unit. Those are going to be at least $500 or more. The little plastic things that the sauna companies throw in and, oh, it's got negative ion generator and da-da-da-da. No, junk. Kev says, care to explain the difference between the Healthmate and the Radiant Health in the heaters? Well, what do you mean, Kev? That's a very broad question. They're completely different design. There's a Healthmate over there. There's a Radiant Health behind me. One's ceramic style, one's carbon. They're going to feel totally different, but you're going to have to Google around for that. I've got videos that talk about the difference between carbon and ceramic heaters. The ceramic ones, like in the Healthmate, are very directional. Surface temperature is really hot. When you sit in front of it, you're going to feel super hot on your back. When you sit next to a carbon, the same amount of wattage is spread out over the entire panel instead of being focused like a laser beam in front. There's two advantages and disadvantages to that of both. I mean, it's pros and cons. It just comes down to what you like. One's going to feel really, really hot and really, really directional. So if you're in a Healthmate or a Therasana or any of the saunas that have ceramic style heaters like that, and they don't have heaters in the front, it's going to be cold. It'll be cold in the front and then super hot in the back. And it's almost like the near infrared sauna heat lamp things where you have to rotate like a rotisserie in order to feel like even coverage. The better companies, like even the smaller high-tech health units, they always have frontal infrared. So I think Healthmate has updated a lot of their saunas to where they have heaters in the front on most of them now. Maybe not the one person, but that usually fixes that. Whereas the carbon is the complete opposite. So it's a more gentle feeling, but it's also spread out, not as directional. So as long as you have really good coverage on the sides, some sort of frontal infrared, you get basically the 360-degree heat experience. If you have specific questions about other things about them, because they're very, very different, just let me know in the chat. But as far as the heaters and how they feel, that's a pretty good general quick synopsis. Truth Fighter says, I doubled up my towels. I totally agree about the cost of the shipping, heavier wood, and manufacturing price going up with solid wood is a compromise. Yeah, I mean, in some cases, Truth Provider, if it's the last sauna that I was ever going to buy, or if I was going to be in my forever home, I would spend the money if I could and get like a solid plank cabinet just because I like heavy duty. Give me 1/2-inch glass door. Excuse me, mouth's getting a little dry there. Jody says, Matt, is a Therasage good? It claims no VOCs and full spectrum infrared, but for me, $1,000, I expect a bit more. I'd love to do your DIY one, but live alone and Lyme prevents me from building things. Pretty sure I got your email, Jody. I thought I responded to you. If you're the same Jody, maybe not. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean when you say you'd expect a bit more. It's not 0 VOCs. It doesn't matter what any of the portable sauna companies say. None of them are 0 VOCs. I have them all in this room. There's a Synergy there. There's a Therasage there. There's a Relax behind me. There's a Durherm over there. There's the DIY, the cheap Amazon, all that stuff. And if you're the same Jody, I think the biggest thing for you was the budget, right? Isn't there somebody that could just help you for 2 hours one day and put together the frame of the DIY sauna? Because if you could just get the frame done and then get the covering put on, you can do the rest yourself. I mean, you could take your time and do it over the course of a day or two and you'd be fine. But if that's not in the cards, the VOCs and the EMF is going to be about the same between the Therasage, the Relax, and the Synergy. The cheapest ones that you're going to be able to get, you really don't need the full spectrum, by the way. So get the $800 one if budget is a concern. If you want the red lights and you don't mind spending a few $100 extra bucks, go ahead and get them. But if you're the same person who I'm thinking of and, the overall cost is important, you don't need it. You don't have to have it. Ravi says, thank you, Matt. Between Saunaspace and Radiant Health, would you say an overall perspective Radiant Health would be better than Saunaspace? Well, I mean, I want to say yeah, right off the bat, but there's no context there. We are talking about as big of a difference as you could possibly create. This is even more so than the gentleman that was asking about Healthmate versus Radiant Health. I mean, we're talking about a portable cloth, crouch down, rotisserie rotation style heat lamp sauna compared to something like behind me. It is apples to oranges. I mean, it's as far as apples to oranges as you could get. I think the Radiant Health is better. I hate to just say yes, it's better without saying in what regard, right? There's no, we got to have a little bit more information, a little bit more context. I hate to just say, one sauna is way better than another and not say why or for what. Ravi says, considering if I DIY the Saunaspace with the 2 to 4 bulb panels in a portable scenario, these two are my only considerations so far. If you have any other I should look at before buying, please advise. Well, I don't know what you're looking for, Ravi. I mean, the DIY and the Saunaspace and the Radiant Health, those are kind of in their own category. I mean, you're going to build the DIY for $300. It's going to be ugly. It's going to work. It's going to take you 2 hours to figure out how to get it together probably the first time. If you're not, handy. The Saunaspace is $3,000. It's a cloth tent that goes together with some wooden dowels, and you have heaters on one side. You sit on a little stool, and then you rotate every 5 minutes, and you can't stand up in it. The Radiant Health is going to be at least $3,000 for a one person. You're going to have a glass door like the sauna behind me. You're going to have lights. And it's going to be really comfortable, and it's amazing. I'm not really sure. I hate to just say, one is this or one is the best or do this or do that without taking into consideration who you are, what you're trying to do, how much, what budget you're working with, how much space you have. You know what I mean? Kev says, good explanation. Michael says, Matt, are you familiar with Dr. Rhona Patrick's research of the effects on sauna, specifically the benefits of traditional heat saunas? She says too early to determine if infrared mimics the same results. Yes, Michael, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. There's some information floating around, and she's one of them. I love her. I think she's awesome. But I have a weird suspicion. You don't need 200 degrees for the body to create a fever. You don't need 200 degrees for the body to create heat shock proteins, or at least begin the stage of that. So what is stopping people from figuring out if we can use an infrared sauna to create heat shock proteins? It's not a complicated experiment. So why is there a lack of crossover on that data? It's one of the things that I've been interested in lately, digging into some of the research. A lot of that doesn't make sense, but who knows? I could be wrong. Those people could be wrong. I don't know. In my opinion, I think you can get you can get all the benefits from traditional Finnish sauna from an infrared sauna, except one. There's one thing that you can't get. The Finns claim that breathing 200-degree air, shocks the lungs. You're not going to get that from an infrared sauna because it just doesn't produce that. Everything else, I think, can be mimicked. That's just my personal opinion. It's not substantiated. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. It's very anecdotal, just from my experience and my personal opinion. But Truth Provider says, what I really like about Radiant Health Saunas is that Randy, the owner, speaks from his own personal experience using saunas for detox. He really knows his stuff. I agree. I love Randy. He's great. And he makes sure that the staff doesn't hound the hell out of customers, which is a problem at other companies. And so everyone is treated like I don't get special treatment. You know what I mean? Everyone is treated well. People aren't price gouged. They're very fair. If there's any issues, they always take care of it. Even if it's not even their fault. If a local shipping distributor, a guy gets reckless on a Friday because he wants to get off early and he punctures your box of your sauna pallet with the forklift fork, right? They're quick to remedy that, even though they're good people, really good people. Giggles and wiggles. Hope I didn't make a bad decision purchasing the Therasage. My issue and reason for purchasing was due to space. No, it's a great portable sauna. Giggles and wiggles. Why would you think that? It's just, I got to be very clear because the sauna companies will twist things. The sauna companies will be like, oh, we have a new low EMF, low VOC sauna. And it's like, well, Matt recommends it. Right. Matt recommends it because there's no other option. Matt recommends it because it's the best solution for people in that situation that need that. That doesn't mean that it's 100% low VOC or that it's zero EMF. It's just a fallacy. And so I just want to make sure that I maintain my personal integrity and recommendations in the way that I speak. So I always kind of add those little caveats. To me, it's extremely redundant, but every single time, like I've never seen your screen name before, Giggles and Wiggles, right? So a new person comes in, and if I don't say that kind of stuff, they're like, oh my God, it really, you know what I mean? Like it's a bad way to go. Truth Fighter Michael, as for Rhona Patrick, I'll venture to bet that I've used saunas a lot more than Rhonda. Based on my decades of use of a Finnish sauna, Hot Rocks, I would testify that the far infrared is better for detox. Thank you, Matt. Sure, Rabbi. Thank you, Truth Fighter. I appreciate your commentary as well. That's been my experience also. But when it comes to scientific data, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I don't have the credentials at major universities that run, studies. Although I am in contact with some of them, but they're all trying to get grants and do, what they do. So things that they share with you, you're not allowed to share with the public and yada, yada, yada. You guys know the drill. Jody says, Matt, I'm going to purchase your DIY plans. I bet it's better than the Therasage and healthier. Could I add LED red light panels to DIY too? Sure, you could. If you want to do that. Truth Fighter says, I think super hot heat is actually bad for your lungs. It can aggravate asthma, etc. I think you're right, Truth Fighter, except the Finns say that, that super heat, there's a benefit to it. So it's like, I don't know. For me, try it yourself. Come to your own conclusions. That's what I've done. That's what I recommend other people do. If you're ever in question of any of this stuff, even things that I say, my number one recommendation to all folks is before you buy a sauna, search for a natural healthcare practitioner or a spa or a float tank place in your city. Go and pay the $45 or whatever it is to use one for an hour. Try it out. Make sure that it backs out for you. Make sure that it's a good fit. Michael says, thank you. You're welcome, Michael. Kev Monty, opinion on USA wellness? What do you mean, Kev Monty? Appreciate your time and content. USA wellness. Giggles and wiggles, thanks. Mainly meant it will work and help with detox and other issues. I'm new here. Of course, if you have questions, happy to help you. Also, if you put questions in the chat, I don't see them. Sometimes the gang will chime in and also help you and correct my verbiage if I start getting crazy. Let's see. Go through a couple more questions here, and then I'm at over an hour now, so we'll probably wind this down. Third-party EMF reports, Costco saunas, best infrared sauna. Sauna blankets work really well. I get flu-like symptoms after infrared sauna use. Any insights? Yeah, that would be the same as why do I feel worse after infrared sauna? I have a specific video on that. If you're watching this on replay and you didn't hear it, just go to Google and type in literally on YouTube, why do I feel worse after infrared sauna? I have a video on some of that stuff. It's usually one of three things. You're either dehydrated, you're low on potassium, minerals, magnesium, or electrolytes, or you're introducing a recirculation of toxins that your body's not prepared or not able to deal with. And there's easy ways to remedy that stuff. Number one is back off your sauna use. 15, 20 minutes every other day at most if you're having trouble with it. Number two is don't do a sauna session without binders. And number three is introduce a multi-mineral electrolyte supplement that's going to give you potassium, magnesium, and also additional electrolytes. Make sure that you're balanced there. Make sure you have enough salt, things like that. What's the best outdoor sauna on the market for 2021? I have to say still the Clearlight Sanctuary outdoor models. They're the only ones that I know of that have a rubber gasket seal, double pane windows, insulated walls, and a true weatherproof roof. They're not perfect. Some of the feedback that I've gotten from them is, excuse me, I think there's room for improvement there as on the product line, but it's a lot better than somebody selling you an indoor sauna and saying that you could just put a cover on it. That's terrible advice and never a good way to go. We got some more things in the live chat. Ravi says, have you ever used a sauna 7 days a week for 30 minutes or longer each day? Do you foresee any negative effects? Yes, I have, Ravi, many, many times. Let's see. Foresee any negative effects? I mean, yeah, if your adrenals aren't prepared for that, if you don't have a heat tolerance in the past to work up to that, that's definitely creates problems for people. If this is your first time sauning or getting a sauna, I would recommend not doing that. I would do 20 minutes a day every other day to start, see how you do. Make sure everything else is in check. Kev Monty says, USA Health and Wellness Spa Seller. Kev Monty, I don't really know what you're asking me about those people. The guy, Garen, I've talked to him once, and then he text messages me to ask me questions about saunas since then. I'm guessing they don't buy them or something. I have no idea. But other than that, I wouldn't really have any feedback on them. Don't know the guy. Not friends with them. Have no idea. Truth Fighter, Ravi Matt did 30 for 30 challenge. Check out his YouTube videos. Thanks. Check it out. Yeah. Let's see. A couple more questions here, and then it is time to run. Cheap portable home sauna that you recommend? Probably my DIY. That's the cheapest, best option if you only have a couple $100. You can get that at saunacourses.com. It's the DIY portable sauna build. Otherwise, you're going to be in the $500 range to get the Durherm portable sauna, maybe $600 on Amazon. You're going to be $800 to get the Synergy. You're going to be $800 to get a Therasage without the lights, $1,000 to get them, and then you're going to be $1,300, I think, to get a relaxed sauna. But yeah, that would be my recommendation. Just depends on where you're at. And anything more expensive than that, you might as well save a little bit of money and spend the $3,000 to get a one-person version of what's behind me. Same footprint, takes up the same amount of space. Is the DIY infrared sauna easily buildable with two people, or can one person do it? It depends on the size of the frame that you buy. The smaller frame, or the one that's recommended in the course or with the kit, I can do it by myself. There's two parts of it. There's one part that's really difficult. The part that's hard is once you get the frame assembled, you have to stretch the canvas cover over the actual frame. And if you're by yourself, it can be a little bit challenging to figure out how it goes on the first time and get it done. You can do it though. It is possible. I do it quite a bit. Let's see. Truth Fighter says, Ravi, consult with your doctor first. Absolutely. I'm not a doctor. None of us are. Not health advice. If you need health advice or medical advice, please see a licensed medical physician. Tamara says, what do you set your sauna temperature at? Tamara, where have you been? We talked about that a little earlier. Weren't you here? For me, usually 133 to 135 if I'm just doing an easy day, a regular sauna day. Ravi says, I used to go to the gym and just sit in the sauna. Their sauna is, of course, not infrared, but wanted to get an idea of the infrared ones. The gym ones, I could sit in for 15 to 30 minutes, no issue. I would expect the infrared, you could also do the same. Truth Divider says, snowing outside like crazy here, and my guilty pleasure is to go in my sauna and play calypso music and pretend I'm in Jamaica. That's awesome. Good for you, Truth Provider. Good for you. I love it. Let's see. A couple more questions here, and then I should be done with the list. We'll go ahead and sign off for the day. Is the DI or do you have sauna detox binder updates. I watched your list. Saw your so I am testing a few new detox binders this year. So far, I haven't noticed a difference. Some of these are really expensive, like $90 a bottle. Unless it's remarkably better, different something, it's going to be hard pressed for me to recommend that over an $18 bottle of bentonite clay with a little bit of herbal detox, like I recommend all the time on my Amazon page. I just don't see it. So I'm going to continue to test those things myself. I hesitate to tell you what they are because I don't want to be one of those people that makes people run out and spend $100 on some foo-foo stuff, and then it's exactly the same thing that we could have gotten for $20. But I am testing some stuff. There's also I'm doing another round of Nano Zeolite sprays. In the past, I have steered clear of this stuff because they're usually involved with MLMs, and I just can't stand MLMs. And people see me, they're like, "Oh my God, you should get involved." You know, they see the YouTube and the product, the health stuff, and all that stuff, and they're like, "You're really dedicated. You should become a tiered member and all that stuff." And I'm like, "Oh my God, here we go with the nonsense." And so, you know, I hesitate on that too, but I am trying them. I try to stay open-minded. I'll probably have an update in another 60 days. You got to use that stuff for a little while to see if there's any difference. You're not just going to try it for one night or something and then be like, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever." Like those Facebook groups for the that stuff that's called TRS or whatever it is. Those people are nuts. And then it's like, it's 50-50. They're like, half the people say that it makes them sick, and the other half say that they've never felt better. So it's very interesting. Will infrared saunas help me lose weight if toxic? Ooh. That's a good question. I would say no, and I would say yes. The way that people usually lose weight using an infrared sauna is that they're burning calories without moving, right? But the other way that people lose weight is kind of like what we talked about earlier. Most of the time when people have a health challenge or something is up, and they're motivated to start using sauna, they're doing other stuff to improve their health, whether it's diet, mobility or activity, supplementation. The thing that is tripping me up and making me hesitate on your question is that you said, will it help me lose weight if I'm toxic? So there's two things about that. One, sometimes people have a hard time sweating if they're toxic in the beginning. And two, sometimes people have difficulty with raising their heart rate and doing physical activity and all this stuff if they're toxic. So, you know, that can prevent somebody from losing weight or whatever you would want to call it. But I think the other thing that stands out to me about this question is that I think this is an opportunity to examine what you believe in your heart or in your mind or whatever when you say, if you're toxic. Like, when you say that, I have to question, do you believe that you're toxic and your body doesn't have the ability to get rid of stuff? Because one of the things that I think needs to change this year with my dialogue, and I've got some videos that I want to make about this, and with everyone else's dialogue in the heavy metal detox space, is that folks don't understand that when you have toxic levels of heavy metals, your body is doing you a service. Because like a child, you know, that swallows a thermometer full of mercury and the school freaks out and everything. Why is that? Because it's a toxic dose. Well, if your body was to process all the heavy metals that have accumulated in your body and send them to the organs for processing at any one time, it would kill you. So it's storing them around in your body in the fat cells. It's making these deposits in an effort to protect you, right? It's more intelligent than you are. It's making good decisions when you can't. And so I think there needs to be a reframe in 2021 on this language, because I think there is a negative belief, and I know I've been through this many times. I think there's a negative belief associated with I'm toxic, right? And I think people get in a rut where they believe that they can't help themselves, and it introduces this victim mentality. And then they become susceptible to buying all these products that they don't need and that don't work. And they go down this rabbit hole, and it's turbulent, right? And it takes them years sometimes to figure out how to get out of it. And some people never do. So I think there's an opportunity here with this I think to make some future videos and to have some other conversations and dialogue that I think is really important. Probably one of the most important things of 2021 in this space, the saunas, the detox, the health improvement, alternative health products and things like that. Because not everything should be about money and selling people shit, right? There's gotta be, there's gotta be like an even keeled, level headed foundation to a lot of this. And I think that is lacking in certain parts of the industry. Let's see. Ooh, there's some questions in the live chat. Jody says, Matt, do you feel it's necessary to take binders when using infrared sauna? I'm trying to heal from 8 years chronic Lyme. 100%. Absolutely. Yes. True Fighter says, I find the activated charcoal from wood sources works better for me than the coconut-based activated charcoal. That's my latest observation. Everyone reacts differently. Giggles and Wiggles, no to MLM. Yeah, but if the product is good, you know, either disregard the MLM part or find an alternative that's the same. So just because it's MLM, I can't be dissuaded from trying things. Truth Fighter says, you can be fat from toxins. Google the word oxygen. If you detox using a sauna, you can get rid of toxic fat and lose weight. Using a sauna will burn a lot of calories, can help with weight loss, but you need to exercise, use binders, and use proper electrolytes. Fred Bill, and thank you for all your information. Oh, and thank you for all your information. Did you put a question in there, Fred Bill, and I didn't see it? Don't know. We got 2 or 3 more of these, and then I've got to hop off, guys. It's nice to see all the familiar faces, though. Thank you guys for contributing in the live chat. I really appreciate it. This is any new infrared sauna reviews coming in 2021? Yes. There's a couple things on the horizon. I don't know if one of them is going to pan out. I think Sunlight came out with a new signature sauna with, it's basically like a Clearlight copycat from the first time I saw it, like the Sanctuary. But it's a signature far infrared sauna with an amplify light panel in the corner, kind of like a Clearlight Sanctuary. Might test one of those. Relax portable sauna, the lie down unit, which I wasn't aware that they had, is here. I just have to unbox it and test it. That's new for 2021. That's something totally different. There is a new dome sauna that's coming for 2021 testing. That's going to definitely be new. It's been 2 years, I think, since I've tested a dome. What else? There might be, oh yeah, brand new, the new Clearlight Sanctuary, probably going to test one of those. And maybe a one person, because I haven't had, the only one person that I have left here is the Sauna Ray, and it's kind of obsolete in its heyday. So maybe a new one person, because a lot of people are worried that they get a one person and it won't get as hot, or they get a one person and it doesn't have the heater on the front and it won't work as well. And it's kind of the opposite. It's almost the same amount of power in the power supply, same amount of heater coverage, but less cubic footage. So works like gangbusters. I think we should get one to test and make some videos. And then what I would like to do is take the one person over to my mother's condo and install it in her master bedroom and give it to her. And I just have to make sure that it's small enough to fit. So I'd like to do that in 2021. Also have a couple ideas about that. Maybe we should film it. I should hire somebody for the day to film videos, take the sauna over there, deliver it to her, put it in. And I think it would give people a different perspective of what it's like to install and set up a sauna and record the steps involved in an environment that's not dedicated to testing saunas like this. I think it would be different. Let's see. Michael says, do you think you will ever review the Finnleo brand? I'm not sure, Michael. The hot tub store thing, you know, the run-in that I had before with the hot tub stores and, you know, them sending customers emails and just creating a giant shitstorm for me. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not really sure. It's very, very, very similar. Like the manufacturers that make the heaters and stuff for the sauna behind me is the same. So there's really not that much difference. The difference is the Finnleos won't put the insulated, there's a lot of glass in the front, so you don't have as much insulation from the wood as far as how efficiently does the sauna heat up, the performance and stuff like that. But I'm not opposed to it. Definitely would be open to it. As long as it doesn't come with the Finnleo sauna hot tub dealer nonsense. Giggles and Wiggles, thanks. Subscribed, watched a couple weeks ago. First time catching a live. Thank you. Good to see you. Hope to see you again. Truth Provider, one person review would be kind of cool or hot. If Chris was here, I think he'd have a couple jokes for you there, Truth Provider. Natalie Ford, just wondering, do you recommend showering straight after a sauna? Or some places say wait 15 minutes. Thanks in advance. Natalie, there's two trains of thought on this. If you are sauning every day in your house and you have one at your disposal and you can use it all the time, just shower right after. If you are trying to incorporate hypothermia or prolonged heat therapy as a way to increase your core temperature and fight off cancer cells or things like that, then there is definitely a reason to wait. But if you are paying to use a sauna somewhere, right? Like I'm not sure which scenario you're in. If you're paying to use a sauna somewhere and your sessions are few and far between, it would be worth the hassle of waiting to, leave the core temperature elevated longer. If it's in your own house, and you have access to the sauna all the time, not so much of an issue. Hope that makes sense. Without asking you a whole bunch of questions and, why you would want to do it and for what purpose. And do you have a sauna? Where are you using it? All this kind of stuff. Try to just give you a little quick synopsis there, but if you need more detail, throw it in the comments. Do you recommend a cold shower right after sauna? Is there a lag here, Michael? we were just talking about that with Natalie. Were you in the bathroom? No, I'm just kidding. I do. I recommend a cold shower. Some people have a hard time transitioning if you've never done cold showers before. I've always liked cold showers as a way to cool down. Before I even got into saunas, so it wasn't a stretch for me to get into it. For some folks, being super heated and all sweaty and their core temperature being raised, it can be really hard for them to tolerate a cold shower shock right away. For that, I would recommend contrast showers. Start out warm, go to cold, go back to warm, go to cold, go back to warm. And then over the course of a few weeks, you'll build up a tolerance to that if that's an issue. If it's not for you, just jump right into it. Do you recommend or paying right now? Mine is arriving next week. Yeah, I wondered about that, Natalie. Because a lot of times that people ask about that, they're trying to get the most out of their sessions that they're going and paying for. So yeah, I mean, when I was going to pay for sessions at a health spa, I hated the idea that I shouldn't take a shower and then I have to get back in the car sweaty and put towels on the seats and all that stuff. But if that's your goal, I would say do it. And maybe when you get your sauna, not so much, because you could just introduce hyperthermia tomorrow, right? Let's see. Michael says, sorry, Matt, did skip out for a moment. That's okay. I'm just giving you a hard time. Truth Fighter says, have to cool down a bit before I take a shower. Yeah. Just depends on what works for you and what your body can tolerate. So let's see. Last three questions. Do you still like infrared saunas over steam saunas? Yes, I do. Why? Easier to set up. You can do 1 or 2 person without hiring an electrician to to add an electrical circuit, 20 amp, 30 amp to your house to set it up. And third, doesn't introduce any moisture into the rooms. So you can use it in an interior space, no ventilation equipment required or system required. Infrared sauna prices seem insane this year. What happened? That's a good one. I'm not really sure. I didn't know infrared sauna prices were going up. Most of the sauna companies only raised their prices 3 to 5%, except for Clearlight. Not sure about Sunlight and not sure about a couple of the others, but the ones that I'm involved with, no product improvements, 30% price increase, pretty nuts. If that continues and it becomes a problem, I will probably have to end up removing my association with those folks and not recommending their brand anymore. Don't want to do that. The product is still good. This raises a bit of concern or suspicion for me, though. If an industry-wide price increase that most companies are entering 2021 with is 3 to 5%, and then we have one that is 30%, with no product improvement, that's a problem. From as a consumer, right? Like I'm putting myself in the mind of a consumer. I'm going back to 2020 and it's like, well, they were close in price and this one was still a better deal. Now it's a way better deal. So if, you know, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that, but I don't know what happened. They say that operations are more expensive, you know, manufacturing, all this stuff. The issue that I have with that is all the other companies are not saying that it required that much of an increase. So don't know what I'm going to do with that. Wouldn't be surprised if eventually I removed that brand recommendation from my list of stuff, just because, you know, I don't know. There's no reason for, if somebody asked me today, should I buy a Clearlight Premier or should I buy a Radiant Health? And there's a 30% price difference. You probably know what my answer would have to be, if I'm being honest and authentic. And, you know, if you were my mom and she wanted to order a sauna, what would I tell her to get? I can't find portable sauna reviews, which one to buy. That's because I haven't finished them. Sorry about that. Still running behind on that. Although I do talk about them a lot, still have them all, used all of them in the 30 for 30. So maybe if you go back to the YouTube channel and look up the 30 for 30 sauna challenge, pretty much every day towards the last week and a half or 2 weeks, we were in the portable saunas back to back. Just a cliff note recommendation or synopsis: the Relax was the hottest and the most compact as far as folding it up. It's also the most expensive. In the middle was the Therasage. The one that I have is the $1,000 one, or plus or minus 100, 200 bucks, with the lights in it. And then we had the $800 Synergy, and then we had the $500 Durherm, and we had a $200 Amazon, and then I also had a steam sauna that I didn't show, just to compare. And then we had something else that was really cheap and it was terrible. We didn't show that either. And then we had the HigherDose sauna blanket. So out of all of these, the Relax is the hottest, most portable, also the most expensive. Therasage is in the middle with the red lights, $1,000-ish. Synergy's $800 range, and the Therasage also $800 range. Those two performed about the same. Didn't matter if it had the red lights in it or not. And those were a little bit better as far as EMF was concerned than the Durherm. I think it's worth the extra $300 to buy the Synergy or the Therasage over the Durherm, if that's what you were looking for, if that's in the mix. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm through the questions. You guys have anything else in the live chat? Looks like there's still a few people on. Thank you guys for participating today. Good to see everyone. And I would say Happy New Year, but I think I've done one video since New Year's. Not a lot. Good to see everyone. Truth Provider, Michael, Natalie, thank you for your questions. Giggles and Wiggles, welcome to the channel. Fred, Bill, Jody, good to see you guys. I think Chet was on here earlier. Ravi, CC, Kev. I'm just scrolling through here. If I skipped you, it's not because I don't want to say your name. Uh-oh. Chet's trying to post something risque again. It says show or hide. This brings back the 30 for 30. I don't know why it does that. I think it says good to see you again. Maybe that's how they maybe that's how the live chat scam girls chat to you. So the YouTube filter thinks it's a spam. Anyway, good to see you guys. Good to see you, Chet. Good to see you, CC. Have a great day, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.